Stand by to initiate release sequencer. On my mark. 5.
We're on express elevator to hell. Going down.
2. 1. Mark.
Hello, everyone. My name is Duringer, aka Mark, and today is Sunday, April 1st, and you are listening to episode 149.5 of the Join Combat podcast, your weekly source for Planetside 2 news and information. As always, I'm brought to you by great listeners like you via the Support the Show tab on joincombatpodcast.com. Not even going to spend time talking about me because we had a lot of stuff to cover on today's show. So first off, I have the big ASP reveal to talk about, followed by some construction news on the PS4. After that, I have some big news about NC MAXes to cover based on comments from Rel himself. Then I'm going to finish with some good horn news for all my listeners. So strap in as we hot drop into another episode of the Join Combat podcast. So first up this week is the big ASP reveal. As you guys recall, there was a lot of cryptic tweets about what the ASP is actually going to be. And as we know, last week there was a dev live stream. So we found out what the ASP actually stands for. And I was very surprised by this, as well as all the other people watching the live stream, is that the ASP stands for the Auraxis Social Portal. And you may be asking yourself, what the hell is the Auraxis Social Portal? Well, the Auraxis Social Portal is a new initiative by Daybreak Games to really improve the current perception of Planetside 2, specifically since the decline of H1Z1, which was their most popular game, in the face of all the stiff competition that's come out against H1Z1, like Fortnite, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, all those style of games. H1Z1 is not as popular as it once was, and therefore the devs realized, or Daybreak Games themselves realized, and Columbus Nova, it came directly from the top, said they need to start focusing more on Planetside 2 and getting the word out about Planetside 2, celebrating their players, celebrating their community people like myself and all the other people who do YouTube videos and things like that for Planetside 2. So this social portal is going to be a really big thing in 2018. Now, I heard that Roxley is actually going to be the liaison for this initiative, and she did announce that their first event is already in the works and people can actually start signing up for it, and it's going to be called the Auraxis Cruise. Yes, they're actually doing, instead of an SOE Live event like in the past, they're doing a cruise just for Planetside 2. Now, this is a lot like the Gaku-Con, if you've ever heard of that. I know they're going to the Bahamas this year. It's basically a gaming cruise. Daybreak Games and Planetside 2 are also hosting a gaming cruise for their fans and community ambassadors like myself. Yes, I have already been invited to attend the Auraxis cruise, and I will be doing a live podcast on the Auraxis cruise this year. So get hyped. So this is going to be a 7-night cruise. It's going to depart San Diego, California on November 4th, 2018. And it's going to travel down the coast and make stops in Cabo San Lucas, Mazatlan in Mexico, and also Puerto Vallarta before returning back to San Diego on November 11th, 2018. If you go to the website and look at it now, the current cost is $599 per person, and that's all included. Granted, you still got to pay for airfare if you're not in the San Diego area, but $600 per person for a cruise of this magnitude, 7 nights, plus all the stuff that they're going to include is a heck of a deal. Obviously, spaces are limited because the cruise ship can only hold as so many people. Speaking of that cruise ship, we're going to be sailing on Holland America's Eurodam cruise ship, and it boasts multiple pools, a movie theater, and just looking at it, more bars than you can actually count. So it's a good thing drinks are going to be included on this cruise as well. Now, in addition to the standard cruise fare, skeet shooting off the back of the cruise with shotguns, that's what I go on cruises for. But Planetside 2 fans are going to be treated to other events like a live dev live stream, basically a standard dev live stream with a studio audience, as it were, to announce any of the November PTS and game update changes that will have gone live that month. They're also planning on hosting a World Domination Series style 24-hour tournament. And what this sounds like is when you register for the cruise, you're going to be asked for what your first, second, and third favorite factions are. And they will do their best to accommodate that faction so that they can get a true 33% split for this PC World Domination Series style tournament. And like it says, it's going to run for a full 24 hours, so it should totally be epic. In addition, PlayStation 4 folks are not left out. There's going to be a 6v6 console-only tournament. So if you are a main player on the PlayStation 4, there's something for you as well. In addition, they're already talking about various Planetside 2 workshops and other events like talking combined arms with Rel, community designing construction assets with Drew, and live UI update demos with Zach. A full schedule of events will obviously be released when we get much closer to the actual cruise date itself. Now, don't neglect the stops that the cruise is going to be making too. I mean, it isn't a vacation without visiting places like Cabo Wabo and the Baja Brewing Company in Cabo San Lucas. I mean, the historic downtown and the beaches of Mazatlan, I hear, are beautiful. And the public markets in Puerto Vallarta and all their beaches as well are spectacular sites that we must see as well. I will be visiting all these places, and listeners on the show, you can definitely hit me up at Cabo Wabo for the first round. Finally, all attendees are going to receive a swag bag full of Planetside 2 goodies, and these are going to include cruise wear themed camos for both infantry and vehicles. We're going to get a cruise ship infantry and vehicle decal. They're giving us gold versions of both the NS-357 IDA and the NS-44 Showdown pistols, which that's huge in and of itself, and also a 12-month heroic boost usable on all your characters. So obviously, if you are a true fan of Planetside 2, you will not want to miss this exciting event. As I said, I've already got my invitation for this. I've already locked myself in to attend this, and I hope that I get to see all you listeners live at this first leg of the new Auraxis Social Portal. I mean, I am hugely excited about this, and I really can't wait.
Bazinga.
All right, after that great news, second topic this week is going to be about construction, because also during the dev live stream, they announced that construction is finally coming to Planetside 2 on the PlayStation 4. PlayStation 4, folks, it's time to actually rejoice. This is going to be dropping in the next patch on the PlayStation 4, and I'm hearing that game update could be as early as Sunday, April 1st. That's when I'm recording the show. That's when you guys could actually see this. Now, the initial deployment is going to occur in multiple waves, and we're only going to get a few of the things to begin with. Like we're going to get ants. Ants are the advanced nanite transport, which allows you to use mining labels to harvest cordium nodes, which are going to be scattered around the map. And the ant can be deployed, which gives you access to building terminal, where you can equip and place fortifications at a cost of that cordium. You're going to get the deconstruction tool, which can be used to deconstruct misplaced structures. We're also getting access to the rampart wall, the bunker, the sunder garage, the cordium silo, the repair module, and the turret AI module, which gives you access to the AI phalanx turret, the AV phalanx turret, and the anti-air phalanx turret. So by default, everybody's going to get access to the rampart walls, bunker, and the anti-infantry phalanx turrets, the silo, things like that, and anything else that's not included, you can purchase those with both certs or Daybreak cash. So again, get hyped, PlayStation 4 folks. Construction is coming your way. Now, the one caveat to this is that it is going to really hurt everyone's frames once this comes to the PlayStation 4. So right now, it's locked in at 30 frames per second on the PlayStation 4. Once the construction information goes live, they're actually going to lock it down to 15 frames per second. Yes, I know it's a trade-off, but it's something that you'll have to accept to get construction on the PlayStation 4 as well. So again, get hyped.
Bazinga.
All right, moving right along, topic number 3 is probably the second most exciting one that I've come across. And this is information from Rel from one of his most recent live streams. And I actually cut it out, so let's hear exactly what Rel said on his live stream.
When are you going to buff the NC Max? We've noticed that the NC Max is just not been performing as well as the other two because it's, we honestly think that it's a matter of range. NC Maxes really have no range.
All right, so you heard it directly from the horse's mouth. Sorry, Rel, I'm not calling you a horse. But basically, NC Maxes are going to be receiving a range buff in the next game update. Now, what does he mean when he says that they don't have any range? Well, obviously, and after talking to him, it's going to be a direct buff to NC hacksaws, scatter cannons, mattocks, and grinders. And it's not even going to be limited just to using the default ammo. This is going to apply to slugs as well. So after I talked with Rel after I saw this and got some more information regarding this. So this is all news that has not been released to the public. You're hearing it for the first time today, April 1st, 2018. So first, the scatter cannon is going to gain the exact same characteristics as the NC6 Gauss Saw. Now, if you're using it in its normal ammo, it's going to fire 6 pellets. Or obviously, if you're using it as a slug, it's going to fire a single slug, just like the normal Gauss Saw would. The Matic is going to gain the characteristics of the LA1 Anchor. Same thing. If you're using it in standard ammo, it's going to fire 6 pellets still. If you put slug ammo on, it's going to fire just the 1. Hacksaws are going to gain the characteristics of the EM1. And finally, the grinders are going to gain the characteristics of the GD22S. So, I mean, we're talking similar fire rates, muzzle velocity, accuracy, recoil, the whole 9 yards. Basically, these are going to be miniature versions of the Gauss Saw, Anchor, EM1, and the GD22S attached to the Maxes. And it's going to take care of any range issues that NC Maxes currently have in the game. And they're still going to retain a lot of those good close range killing mechanics that they have. So NC brethren like myself, we are not going to be neglected anymore after this. I can't wait for this stuff to come live. It's not even going to go to the PTS. This is going directly onto the live servers. And with that, let's move on to our last topic this week.
Bazinga.
And that last topic is, like I said at the beginning of the show, some horn news. Now, during the last dev live stream, they announced, to much sadness in the chat room, and myself personally, that the toilet flush horn, or it's called the courtesy flush horn, is no longer going to be available for purchase in Planetside 2. Now, the many complaints from players in the game was the main reason for discontinuing it, and I can understand why people don't like it. I mean, it's a toilet flush sound in the game, and maybe it doesn't fit Planetside 2 itself, but I love it. It's one of my favorite horns in game. So after the dev live stream was over, I quickly, texted Nick, and I said, look, this is something that you need to reconsider. Not only is this a good horn that I think in game, that I also felt that the community itself was really behind this horn. And I said, just go back into the live stream and take a look at the chat as it goes by. And he agreed that he would go take a look at it and get back to me regarding it. Well, I'm happy to say that after they looked it over, Nick says that he agrees that it was a bad reason to discontinue the horn, and that all players should be able to, quote unquote, salute their enemies after a good dunking in a vehicle. So as a result, for one day only, on April 1st, 2018, everyone who logs in and enters the code courtesy flush is going to unlock this horn across their entire account, and they'll have it forever. It's a one-time thing, one-day thing on April 1st only, so make sure you don't forget to log in and claim your toilet flush horn using the courtesy flush code. I know that I will be logging in just to grab that, and I'm really excited that they rethought it and decided to bring that back into the game itself. Something that we as a community can't lose. And with that, let's move on to housekeeping.
Housekeeping. Housekeeping.
Come back later, please.
Housekeeping.
Not now.
Housekeeping.
Go away.
I coming anyway?
All right. As for housekeeping, I did get an email this week, and it was from a listener named Ice Goes Yellow. And he writes, "Hi, Derringer. In case you didn't know, I'm 11, and I play NC on Emerald. Last week, in-game, I asked if you were a ginger in Yell Chat, and you didn't answer me. This is a very important question, so if you could answer it on your podcast, it would make me happy. Thanks, Ice." Well, Ice, I'm sorry. I must have missed that in Yell Chat. I didn't see it come across. So I apologize for that. If you had been on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/The Derringer, I do have a cam going, and you can actually see me as I play the game, and I am not a ginger. So I hope that takes care of your question, and we can move on from there. So that's going to be it for today's show, though, folks. But how can you get in touch with me or the show? As always, visit my website, www.joincombatpodcast.com. You can also send me an email at joincombatshow@gmail.com. Call me, leave me a voicemail, 347-486-4772, or that's 347-4VM-4PS2. The show's Twitter account is at Join Combat, and my personal Twitter is at The Derringer. But in closing, if you've enjoyed the show, please leave me a review on your podcast listening avenue of choice, whether it's iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or anywhere else. Also, feel free to tell your friends and outfit mates about the show. And finally, thanks for listening, and keep spamming that Join Combat button. Derringer out.
Suck my nuts. Get your arms combined.